Good morning, guys. It's kind of a rough night, but I made it through. It is chilly this morning. I want to get that fire up and rocking as soon as possible. I see you get out of bed here. Thank God for this wool blanket and this beanie. Yeah, man, that was a rough night. It's time for me to start getting out of this thing and try to get warmed up a little bit. It ended up raining for about an hour last night. All my firewood's going to be wet, and it's not going to be fun, but I do want to put on my wool rich so that I can try to stay warm. It's at least 45, 50 degrees out right now. I use my shemagh as a pillow, and I'm laying on top of my wool rich to kind of help add some extra insulation from the ground, and also a little bit of extra padding, which doesn't really help that much. As you can see, my shelter kind of fell down on me last night. I need to get some bigger rocks, but it was rolling all around in this shelter last night. At one point I woke up, my head is like right in this area right here, right outside the shelter. There's a lot of condensation on the inside of this from me breathing and sweating at some points throughout the night. But yeah, made it through the night. It's currently 5 o'clock in the morning. The shelter sucks, not gonna lie. The shelter does really fucking suck. There is not any room at all in this to actually do anything. This is part of the reason why it was such a miserable night last night. My blanket's damp. I'm damp. Everything's damp. Oh, nice all over the cold, wet ground. Good thing I'm going home after this. So I'm gonna put my boots on, get the fire started again. Alright, let's put the wool rich on here because it is pretty chilly out this morning, as I mentioned. And I've only got 25 minutes of record time on my phone. So I need to try to keep all these segments as short as possible so that way I can, I'm going to make this part 2 for you guys. Alright, still got a little bit of heat left. It's going to take some of these pieces of wood here from the fire, put it all into here. I do have my ferrocerium rod and stuff, so if I have to, I'll get this fire going back up again that way. But yeah, a little bit cold. And just like that, we got fire. Yeah, we got ourselves some fire. We're gonna stoke this up, some more twigs, and we'll go over and get the food. You guys don't notice how good it feels to have this fire going right now. It's around 2 in the morning. I kind of got this cold chill. It just ran right through my entire body as the temperature started going down. So all the moisture inside of that shelter from me breathing, that's kind of what did it. Luckily, I had that wool blanket, or else I would have been frozen. And I would have possibly had a chance of getting hypothermia too, which I'm glad I didn't get that, obviously. I got this fire started at the coals from the last fire. So therefore, I saved my ferrocerium rod and my fire starters for whenever I actually need them. Alright, I'm going to work on getting the cooking pot down now. And there is my cooking pull up. Alright, let's take you guys over the fire. So, this is what our meat's looking like. I've also got our bale here that I made prior to coming out here. I told you guys I'd show you what it does, and that is exactly what it does right there. And then closing my handles, put my lid on, and got my spit here from last night. Yeah, I didn't make those quite tall enough, but that's just going to help keep that from hopefully falling over. I did actually swap out the 2 fork sticks. So here's one of the originals from last night. So I did swap them out for taller ones and skinnier ones so I can pack them up and take them home. And I also use a different stick as well, one that's more beefy. But the main reason for why I'm boiling this, though, is just to thoroughly cook the son of a bitch. I'm going to start packing up all this shit and getting out of here. Yeah, I'd say she's pretty done here. She's been boiling on there for the past, I want to say, like 20 minutes. It smells like boiled steak. That has some very, very rich broth in it, though, which is what I want, especially on a morning like this. I'm cold, and I just want some nutrients in me. This is going to be critical for me. So this is what it looks like. See all that nice brown broth in there? That is going to make this so much better. This is rich in all the nutrients from that steak. You kind of see some of the steak sitting right there. So I'm going to chow down on this steak here, and then I'll get into tearing that down and doing a bunch of other things for you guys. I've only got 13 and 50 minutes of time left for me to record for you guys. All right, I was going to show you guys the steak because from what it was last night to that's from boiling it. The fact that you see this from the smoke from yesterday, having this guy over the fire. So obviously I'm reheating and eating my leftovers here. This is the most tender, cheap steak that I've ever had. Nothing better than leftovers from last night. I've got 12 minutes and 30 seconds left to be able to record stuff for you guys. So what I'm working on right now is heating up some water to disinfect my spoon that I use to eat with. And I'm also going to be using that water to boil up or make a cup of coffee here. So what I did with this can is I cut the top off. It's just going to be my coffee cup. So just a makeshift coffee cup here for now is all I really need. How I'm going to do this is I got my coffee filter right here. I got some coffee. And this is Folgers, I think it's Black Silk is what the name of the coffee is, or the flavor. It's a super dark roast. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this and shove it down into here, just like so. It's going to pour about half the bag of this coffee into that. And you guys remember the zip ties? Well, I'm going to use one of them for the coffee filter. So I'm just going to take it, bunch it up, twist it. I'm going to take my zip tie, obviously cinch it down, just like that. And then just like so. And it's going to drop that down in there, because that's where I'm going to brew my coffee out. So, got myself a cup of coffee, start the brew here right now, and I'm just going to leave this in here until it's done. Obviously, I got this wrapped up in a bandana to insulate it from my hands, and this feels good just to have a nice hot cup of joe right now. Using the spoon, going to mix this around in here just like so. Hobo coffee cup. Okay, so what I'll be doing here is I'll be using all three of these, you can see right here, to be able to make basically gruel out of it. So I want to eat this food up before I head up to the house. So that's what I'll be doing here. And while I was down filling up water and letting my cooking pot cool down so I can fill up my water bottle, but I ended up finding this little jar right here, which is actually a huge score for me because I know I can use this little jar to actually make a candle lantern, transport water, or transport really anything else in it that I need to. So this is actually a huge score. Okay, so as you can see, that is to a nice long boil. I'm going to start adding all these snacks in here. And it's going to start throwing everything into there. I know what you're thinking. Like, why in the world are you doing that? Well, it's because I want a hot meal. I'm just using what I got to make a hot meal. And I'm also going to move this guy up to here. So obviously, let's move that guy up there because I don't want it to be too hot and it's about to boil over. Since I put that little bit of food in there. So now I'm going to take a little hobo spoon here. Going to mix everything up best I can. And then I'll get back with you guys after this thing here is done cooking. This stuff here is basically cooked. So, as you can see, it's starting to thicken up quite a bit. It's kind of what I'm looking for. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this off the pot stand and let it cool down, then eat. My phone's at 23%. I don't have very much room left to record on here. Trying to conserve it as much as possible to be able to do this stuff for you guys. Howdy guys, Bushcraft Viking here. I hope you guys enjoyed this two-part series, and I had fun filming this, as you guys probably tell in some of the footage there. And I'm currently in the process of packing everything up so I can head home because I got stuff I need to do, and I have to go to work tomorrow. So I wish I could stay another night out here, but I can't because personally, I'd love to spend the whole week out here doing this kind of stuff. But you know, I got to do what I got to do, and that last meal that I cooked was actually not that bad. If I had a little bit of sugar to go in it, it would have gone a long way. But it kind of tasted almost like a blueberry cobbler kind of deal. So it was interesting. It was different. And just 3 simple Nature Valley bars, and you got yourself a dessert, essentially. Lightweight, a little bit of water, 3 Nature Valley bars, and boom, you got yourself a little simple dessert you can make out in the woods. I have no clue what my plan is for the next few videos. I've been really pumping out the videos this weekend. It's been pretty much one every day for the most part, other than never got to record. Don't have the best service, so the videos take a little bit to actually get out there to you guys. But I was just celebrating the 1 month I've been on YouTube. That is what this whole deal is about. We coming out here doing a survival challenge. And yeah, I did put my own twist on it in the end, but I'm pretty sure some of you got a laugh out of it and had a good time watching. And if that's the case, thank you for watching. I'll see you around.